They do linguistic work. They don't know where to put keywords. We run into a lot of translation companies that take the word out and they use our product, the product. They soften. We find a lot of things where meta descriptions aren't translated. Title tags aren't translated. A lot of this stuff. I found on Russian pages French meta tags. Whoever goes from French to Russian, it's an odd combination, but things like that, you see, I saw that on Dell. And so those are all things that they typically miss. So when you're working with a translator, whether you're using the homestay student all the way up to Lionbridge or one of the other big localizers, sit down and say, is it going to be in the title? Here's my words. Here are these things. And sort of educate them and make sure that they know about these things. This is a chart that shows you, the 3 phases really quick. Glossary development, that's that chart I showed with all the different language versions. Make sure that they're keeping the words in. And lastly, in the QA process, we see where they don't change language codes. They don't update anchor text. They don't do alt text. There's a lot of that stuff that we make sure that they fix in the QA process. PPC creative. So write ads for markets. Double by character. So in Asia, to show a Japanese or Chinese character, it takes twice as many spaces. So you actually have half the real estate. Google and Yahoo doesn't give us twice as much space because the language characters take up twice as much. We actually get half. So that's something to keep in mind. In Germany, the words are bigger. So we've got to factor that in when we write these. We just can't take them and translate them. Look at competitors' ads. It's amazing how many people don't do this. Go into a country. If you ever want to see ads in a local country, do a query, and at the end of the query, put the little ampersand sign and GL equals, and then the country code, like UK, and you'll actually see the ads for the UK. So it's a very interesting way before you go there. Maybe back to the question of, should I use English words and local language in my ads? You can look to see what other people are doing by simply putting that little snippet in the URL for the search query.
What was it again?
It's ampersand GL equals, and then whatever 2-letter country code, like SE for Sweden or DE for Germany. Cool. And it actually shows you the paid search ads for that local market. All right, team and organization. Anybody care about this? I know we want to get to questions, but by now there's a lot of stuff we got to do. Do we really care how to get it done? But hearts and minds, be friendly to people. Time zones. Please get up at midnight. Have the call with our friends in Asia. Anybody know that India is a half hour off everybody else? Keep that in mind, because otherwise you or they will be a half hour late. It's amazing how many times people don't know that. But cater, help them. It shows a sign of respect to use their time zone. Educate anybody you come in contact with about search, especially if you've got offices in different countries. They don't know, and there's probably not resources in that market. We're not reliable. In China, let me know how many search companies there are in China, at least on the semi-official roster of search companies. There's about 25,000. Half of them, their idea of optimization is either paid search or optimizing meta keyword tags. So that's the level of sophistication in many cases, on about 90% of them. Centralize the team. I think there's only a few of you that would have the people for these charts, but this is actually what I call a me, myself, and I chart, where you're one person but you have multiple roles. And so you try to bring in other folks in this and include them in the conversation. So bring in web people, tell them, your webmaster. Help your webmaster understand some of these issues. Help your copywriters, help your PR writers understand these issues, and help brand managers understand these issues. Global PPC management tools, there really aren't any. There's some that work better in some markets. Marin is a good one that works across a number of countries. There's Make Me Top has a great tool in Asia. There really is no true global tool except the engines actually work in all languages, all countries, all that. So in many cases, Kenshu, which is a big, large-scale web paid search tool, works in all different languages. Few tools will actually roll up all this data for you to see one lens. Most of them don't do that. And if they are, they're considered enterprise level tools and start at about $250,000. So there's really no small to medium business tool effectively to manage global campaigns. Performance metrics. So basically at IBM, we put this cool little scorecard together where we pitted all the business units against each other. We said, here's a set of words. How are we performing on those words? This could be between sites, could be between offices, any division you have in your organization. Put a scorecard against it like this, where it's like, okay, 20 words from every country, how are we performing? It's very interesting when senior management sees something like this, then they go and they want to talk to this guy down here, or this woman that's not doing anything. Anybody that doesn't have a little bit of green typically gets talked to. Now it can be one or the other. I can see, wow, I've got a lot of opportunity, that's the carrot, or they get the call from the big man saying, why aren't I seeing any green on here? So it's either a carrot or a stick, but to get your offices or get your other sites working, this is probably the most effective thing that I've ever used. So wrapping up the keys to successful global program, demonstrate the business opportunity. Use the keyword tools that we talked about. Look at what is the opportunity. Look at what traffic you're getting to help understand what my markets I should go to. Ensure anybody working on the language site understands search fundamentals. The little things. Make sure that they understand keywords and titles and those type of things. Research and deploy that strategy. What are the right words? Are we on the right ones? Integrate search into the development and the workflow process. So like we showed, the IBM catalog, build it into that process as you're building it. That way you don't have to fix it later. Research the target markets for regulation, trends, any kind of data that's going to help you understand if it's the right place to go. And lastly, take advice from local experts. Ask them what's working in their market. Have them read it. Ask them to buy your product if it's not too expensive. Or talk to a customer who's bought recently. What was the experience? What could I change? And of course, got to pimp the book. It's a mix of global and everything, but it really is how to manage, start to finish, a search program. It's actually the second edition, and I've actually been asked by Wiley to write a global search marketing book, so I may be talking about that one in the future. So thank you. I think any questions we didn't answer during?